Ahoy mates! Well, we're out here on the dive boat. Here we go. This is the beginning of the process of cleanup topsides. We've scheduled a haul out for 9/11/2023. We're going to do the bottom, through-hole fittings, running gear, etc. For the time being, we have a lot of cleanup to do. A lot of topside rust to neutralize and paint. Beyond that, we have some work to do in the engine room. I want to get all the strainers clean and functioning and all seacocks massaged. So there's a lot of little work, and my plan is to just throw the camera on a tripod and let you guys follow along. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We really appreciate all of you finding a little interest in this project. Hopefully we can keep growing. So let's get to work. Ahoy mates! Well, I'm sitting here with Hero Boy aboard Tradition, and for those of you who are new to the channel, this is my other boat. I'm partners on this boat with Skip Armstrong, and this is the 1928 John Alden schooner named Tradition. This is what the whole channel is based around, and as you can see, it's quite a different vibe from the workboat. But this is what inspired me to want a workboat, because we're living out here on the mooring ball, and we have a lot of work to do that is very nice to have flat space, not to mention some heavy lifting. So if we can have another boat that can facilitate those needs out here on the water, that'll help our project. And this project is mine with Skip, and Skip has another project, which is the Wizard of Bristol, parked over there right next to the dive boat. So it all does have a bit of rhyme and reason, although it might seem crazy on the surface. And I'd like to introduce you to Tradition. She's a beautiful, beautiful boat. She's in the process of being rebuilt over the last 8 years at least. Skip and I found this boat in a slip at Aloha, and she was rotten on the top sides. So we ripped the deck off and made it look super ugly, and then replaced all the beams and carlins. And she's got a marine plywood deck on here now, awaiting her final decking surface. She's got a new transom behind me. She's got a new pilot house here, or a cockpit, and this is also awaiting its finishing stages. Our next step on this is hopefully in August. We're going to haul out, pull the rig down, and replace the mast steps, as well as do the running gear and refresh the bottom with all of her fitting. Likewise with the dive boat we're going to haul out, and we're going to haul out on 9/11, ironically, for the Patriot dive boat there. And we're going to do a similar thing: running gear, check through hole fittings, clean the bottom paint, and do any rust repair. I have a feeling that bottom's in real good shape, though, to be honest. I only seem to be taking water through my packing glands, so I will redo the packing glands and the shaft log, the bearings involved in that, and we'll pull out the rudder and do the rudder bearings too. So that boat should be coming along nicely. My neighbor over here just gave me a little heads up on some potential work for the dive boat. Our friend Leaf and neighbor, he has the big catamaran here, and he's got a couple other boats. He does a lot of recovery stuff with various boats, and he just asked me if we might be interested in doing some stuff, because he has a motor down and he gets calls. So straight away, there's some opportunity for us to go do some towing work with our dive boat. It makes me think I should get under there and scrape that bottom. God, I don't love diving in this lagoon, but if I have a bright sunny day, it's not the worst. This is a hammerhead shark breeding ground. And on murky days, I've seen some big, big fish just kind of breaching the surface. Sharks, yeah. So we'll do it though. We'll get under there and we'll clean it. Once we haul her out and paint her, she's gonna be awesome. But for now, I think we should get that bottom clean so we can go run if we have to. We should fill up the tanks too. Yep, that's a good call. All right. If you're curious about this boat, take a look back at some of our earlier videos. You'll see quite a bit, but I'll give us a little walk around now for this video of real time where we are in this moment. What is it, the 7th Wednesday of June? Boy, this year's cruising by too already, I tell you. Let's start off in the cockpit here. And as you can see, this has all been rebuilt. This has the original worm gear from 1928, which is amazing steering. Huge rudder system on this. And we have a brand new transom, still not finished, of course. This whole back area will be finished next time I get our shipwright, Eric, down here. And Eric Ashford has been the gentleman who works with Skip Armstrong over the years to restore these boats. I'm coming into the picture, and I've worked with Eric on another boat named Criterion, and he approves of working with me. So we agree we're going to haul this boat out together and see what we can do about getting her back into sailing shape. Hero loves being out here on the water. You're such a good boy. We've got a lot of vintage stuff mixed with new stuff on this boat. This hatch back here opens down into the engine compartment. Down here we've got a Perkins 4-cylinder, which I do need to rebuild, and I need to replace this whole exhaust riser system. I'm not sure exactly what's wrong with it, but it needs a refresh all the way around. We've got some new frames astern in the hull, and our plan is to continue laminating forward. So I'll bring you around the deck, and then I'll bring you inside so you can see how this boat is laid out. Coming up along the port side here, looking aft, you see how big that boom is. That's got to be in the 25-foot range, and that's your main mast. She goes up and then has a topper on there. The masts seem to be in good condition, although the mast steps themselves are a little compressed, so we're going to replace them. Very cool pin rail system, beautiful gallows all around the boat. Everything needs to be refreshed, of course. Here's your foremast. Everything has top and bottom booms, and even the foresail is club-footed. This hatch is just a storage hatch. This goes into the crew quarters here. On the foredeck we have an entry into the peak. We've got new Samsons that have gone in around, and a lot of the combing has been replaced all the way around the boat. Our bowsprit is out currently, awaiting the new rig. She comes 75 overall with the bowsprit. She's 65 on deck. And she's just a gorgeous, classic schooner. And when we get this schooner back into working condition, the plan is to bring her back into the wooden boat scene and also educate people on how to sail a schooner. This beautiful gallows goes into the pantry and kitchen area, the galley, and coming up along the starboard side back towards aft. And you see, like I said before, just a very different vibe, of course, than the Navy boat. But interestingly enough, this was also a Navy boat in World War II. This served in the picket patrols in the Northeast United States out of Greenport, New York, hunting and sounding for submarines and then calling in bombing runs. And their main mission was to protect the convoy fleets that were bringing supplies to Europe for World War II. Turns out that another big thing that they were involved in was rescue, because they would come across so many sailors. There was an unbelievable amount of ships sunk within a very short period of time in the beginning of World War II, because basically the U.S. Navy was caught with their pants down. And so this boat is an original wooden Navy boat. Crew quarters up front. It's a mess. It needs to be completely cleaned, but there's so much that's got to happen along the way. It's not really too important to get over the top with it just yet. Probably I'll end up taking all of this furniture out to replace beams underneath, and that's fine. Might put a head back in this location here, the aft cabin, and into the motor room. So everything needs a lot of work, but we will get there, all in due time. As we like to say, little by little, do what you can. It all adds up in the end. So just for the sake of trying it out, let's try this Permatex. See what it looks like. Not so great in the wind. Here. So this is a rust treatment, and I'm not doing a finished job here, but I'm kind of curious to see what it does. I think we're going to use the OSPO. We have a whole deck to do that too. We'll get there, little by little. This is another one of those Robbie Layton grid patterns. I need to get all this non-skid off here. You see how it's junk. It's not that big of a surface area though. Just tackle it in the grid. One thing is it's hot as balls out here. Oh, there's my cursing. One thing is really hot out here, so it'd be nice to